right, let's do this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another edition of Uper Farmer Cigar Garage Talks for the special edition. The wonderful COVID is over, ... for us. For us, for me, I'm officially calling it. For my family, COVID is over. Before we get too far along into the topic, do I say hello?
Hello.
We have homeschooling mommy. She's here to add her 2 cents and to celebrate with me. She's even got her ever special kerosene heater going, which is impressive because it's not that cold out in the garage. But to get her out here, we got to kind of spice it up a little bit.
It's chilly.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, we got a few specialties that we're smoking and drinking tonight. First off, the cigar. It's a Romeo and Juliet, 1875. It was actually cigar wrapped, the Casino 3, not cigar wrapped, cedar wrapped, and was sealed in a glass tube. So just after the pandemic started, a new cigar shop opened up just before our illustrious Govs closed them down. When I went in there, the guy suggested I try one of these. I tried one. I really liked it. And I actually ended up buying a couple of them. This one is the last one left. I've been hanging on to it, waiting for something special to celebrate. And the end of the pandemic, damn it, that's worth celebrating. No beer tonight. We actually have a fun little drink. So this is when I was on unemployment, because the previous job I had let me go before I started working for the state. As you can see, it was actually made on the 4th of July, 2020. You were actually at your mom's when I made this. I got into trying to age my own spirits. So taking a neutral spirit like a rum, putting wood chips in it, filtering it, adding stuff. This one's a whiskey. Let's see if I get that in there. So I took like a white whiskey, aged it on wood chips. I think I filtered it. I got a little write-up about it, but I did it on July 4th, 2020 is when I bottled it. I didn't think any of these survived, but about a year ago I found that one chilling back and behind my my canned goods and whatnot. So I was like, hey, I should save this for something special. So I decided to save it for the end of the pandemic. So let's give her a try. It's probably going to be really crappy, actually. I found out aging them on wood for more than 6 months turns them really bad. So this is probably not going to taste very good. Want to try it? And of course, the wonderful, not really pandemic related.
Oh.
Kind of. I guess we were doing the farmers markets during the pandemic. And that's when we met Miss Kathy with the chocolate chip pudding bread. And what are you drinking tonight?
Just my bubbly.
Bubbly with a little bit.
Soda stream with a little bit of rose syrup, grenadine.
Grenadine.
What is that? That is rose, isn't it? It's
The-
red. I don't know.
It's grenadine, but the company is Rose something.
Oh yeah, okay.
And show them what you're smoking tonight.
I'm not.
You are smoking something.
Oh,
You're
oh,
smoking flies.
I don't like flies.
She'll be in charge of zapping flies
So
tonight.
you hear it go in the background.
We are currently inundated with
They're a
black
little
flies.
better than they were.
They
a
have been
couple of
getting-
days ago.
We set out some traps, and
In the cold.
the cold helps, and the kids going to town, shocking the shit out of them has really helped. So anyway, do you want to tell why we are officially calling the pandemic over now?
No, it's kind of your thing. I think it's only fair to let you.
Well, I actually posted a video about this, about the possibility. So it's not really a surprise people have been watching the videos.
Oh, you already posted that?
Well, I posted that I applied for a new job.
You can't post this for a few weeks.
No, and that's fine. This one I actually won't post for until probably this one will actually post. I officially today did get notified that I now have a new job. I'm super excited. We celebrated quite a bit actually today. We had a lot of celebration today.
A lot of eating out.
A lot of eating out, a lot of buying food from restaurants, which is not our bag.
No.
But why am I calling this the end of the pandemic? One, this is working for the COVID response team with the state of Michigan. That's what I had been doing. Absolutely loved it. Had a lot of fun, a lot of great people, but it's starting to wind down. The job is really winding down. We're starting to get slow down. Plus, we had our illustrious president. Now, people are saying it's a gaffe, but he officially, about a few weeks ago, said the pandemic's over. Writing's on the wall, but.
Nobody believes his gaffa's anyway.
Mm-hmm. True story. They're just now.
So he could say anything, and if all somebody has to say is it was a gaffe.
It was a gaffe.
Nobody believes it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
So I mean, it could go on for another 3 years.
Yeah. Just like anything, like any of these pandemics or whatnot, it's historians, 5-10 years from now will put the official date it ended. The Spanish influenza, even though it was the 1919 is 1919, but then they say 20. Some people say 21. Some will say. But for me, I'm willing to call it. I will no longer be working for the COVID team, which is a bittersweet. It was really great to be in response again, to be helping with the response, doing my part. I did a lot with communications, with the email team and whatnot, so that was a lot of fun. But I'll be officially moving on into the realm of environmental health now. Working with dirty water and bad air.
You really do need to get an official job description to know what you're going to be doing exactly.
Well, I do have that. I'm the community engagement coordinator. So my job is going to be, you ever see some people at fairs who are talking about, asbestos or lead or PFAS or any of those. I'll be that person for the UP.
You can come to the farmers market.
I can come to farmers markets. I can go to schools.
You can justify
I can justify a lot of stuff, which would be great. It'll be a lot of fun. It's back to teaching again. It'll also be training trainers. It was actually a really good interview. We had a fun time. Looks like a good. Can you not click the button as you put your nose towards it?
There's something in there.
I agree, but just don't put.
I didn't.
You click the button like each time.
I didn't get myself. It's fine. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So, I think it'll be really good. Plus, the job is not grant funded. It is line funded, which means it's in the state budget. So the chance of me having the job more than the 6 months that my current gig was supposed to be. It was supposed to only be a 6-month tour, based on if I got extensions and whatnot. I'm good. This one is what looks like will be retirement type quality. I'll be able to have this one for the next 10, 20 years, it looks like, if I so choose, because again, it's a line item. It's also a new position, which is nice. I'll really be building the program, which will be pretty fun. So, what are your thoughts? What do you think? It's also the end of the pandemic, or am I calling it too early or too late?
I don't know. I don't think it's the end of the pandemic. I mean, I just saw a bunch of people in masks not that long ago, like literally tonight. So I don't think it's the end of the true pandemic, but is it the end of like your position? I would say yes, but I mean, obviously they're having you train your replacements, so they don't intend for this to go anywhere, at least not for another 6 months or so. So, I mean, yes, but no.
Well, I think we're going to see people. I think the mask is just going to become a staple of everyday life now. I have a hunch that's something.
Which is fine. Like, if somebody has a cough or a cold or a flu, I am totally supportive of them wearing a mask and not spreading it. I mean, we've had COVID 2-3 times, I think, at least.
3 or 4, actually, yeah.
And it's miserable. It is just terrible to feel that sick all like day after day after day for weeks. on end. So, like, I don't blame anybody for wanting a mask, and I'm not going to criticize anybody for wearing a mask. I find them suffocating. I find them like anxiety inducing, and not because like I'm uncomfortable in a mask, but going out in public with a mask on my face is just so unnatural, and it makes me feel terrible. So, I mean, I think it is, but it isn't the end of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm calling it because, like I said, you're gonna see masks just throughout. Again, when
well, obviously our part,
Mhm.
if you will, in the pandemic is going to decrease further.
well, our part will be done. I mean, we don't do any big restrictions. We don't even the friends who used to have us test before we came to visit. Not really a thing anymore.
True, that does seem to be getting less.
So
But so I would say like your part in the pandemic response is probably done, but I have a feeling like at least statewide, nationwide, it's not over until it's over. Like,
but again, what does that mean? Because
well, I mean there are ways to quantify that. No more new cases in 2 weeks. No more,
that's
you
the
know.
thing is it's endemic now. It's
But
just
you know
gonna
what I
be
mean. Like there are ways to quantify that, and eventually, as you said, in 5, 10, 20, 100 years, there will be a definitive end and start date. Like they will have the end date.
yeah.
But that's not something that we can like anticipate.
Yeah, predict.
Yeah, we can't predict that. So
Well, good. Well, since we have you, we got time. I don't want to just cut the video short with the announcement. Is there any other Ronas remembered you want to throw
I
in
thought
since
you
last
wanted,
time?
you wanted to talk about your new job.
Well, you can talk about my new job. What are your... So the new job does involve a lot more travel.
But I think that's an exaggeration. I think it means travel. Like, one, for us, any amount of travel is going to seem like a lot more because we haven't really gone anywhere. And especially with you having this remote position, you haven't traveled or even gone into an office in some time. So any amount of that will seem like a lot, but I get the impression, at least from what I understand, that it's actually not that much. At least not in comparison to other things.
Well, that's something I'll be learning.
Yeah.
It does sound like it will be.
I'm reluctant to say because I really would rather like have more information, and I don't know
Well,
if you
'cause
haven't shared with me why you think it's a lot of travel.
Well, because when I told you, it is going to the Chippewa County Fair. It's going to Marquette High School to talk at a science class. It's going to there is some disaster response. So if there's a spill, there's going to
Yeah, but most of that is a day, like a 2-hour drive or an hour drive. I don't think that's a travel as much as it's a
Well, I mean, if you're already
out
over
of
in
the office.
if you're already going to be over in like Chippewa County, you might as well line up 3-4 events and get them
I don't know.
get them over a day or two.
Again, I think that's something we'll have to wait and see what happens.
I mean, my current position had 0 travel.
Well, that's what I mean. I think that this is a...
I know there is trainings I have to go down, like every quarter I have to go down to Lansing.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how much the travel will actually be. But given that we have so much going on right now, I don't think we will be able to or have significant interest in doing any of it with you anytime soon.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm glad that you got a different position. I think you'll be happier. I mean, you have been kind of on edge about it, which makes you a little grumpy about your position. So,
Well, the on edge really is. That is due to the uncertainty.
well, they haven't given you it's going to end here, or it's going to last to this point, or it's going to be extended. Like, it's been a lot of like, oh, okay, like not knowing from one week to the next. So I get it. It's just like that does get exhausting. I'm sure it gets exhausting for you to be in that position as well.
Well, and there is 100% guarantee this will not be a position I can do until I retire. The COVID response one.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like, I got the impression they were kind of trying to roll it into something more, but
I mean,
I
there
think
was
this
always
other
that.
position is more along like
Yeah.
your lines. Like, you like to teach, you love to be in front and center and, you know, leading or whatever. So I think it's more in your interest
Yeah.
area. I don't think environmental health is your necessarily your interest area, but since you like teaching, I think the subject is less than the passion for
Yeah, the passion for
teaching.
teaching. And when I was the EPC, I dealt with environmental health quite a bit.
Yeah, but I don't think it was. I mean, it's hard to say until you start doing it, but I don't. As the EPC, I think that's a different aspect of environmental
It is.
health and.
Well, that will cross because it is if like they find lead pipes up in
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's gonna cross. I just mean like it's still a different.
a different genre, a different
Yeah,
focus. I mean, I'm not even going to be in health and human services anymore,
Yeah.
which I've always been. I mean, I'm going to be switching over to the environmental health, so DEQ and DNR and.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm excited, but I'm a little.
It is. I mean, I'm very excited. I have 2 weeks to train into my position and train out of my position. Just 2.5 weeks, I guess, which is. I don't know if this video will come out if I'll already be in my new position or if I'll be.
Well, you're not supposed to announce it, right?
Yeah, I think it'll be fine by the time I get this one out, but.
Yeah, I'd save this one until you're definitely in
Quite possible. Quite
it.
possible.
So,
But
I
yeah,
mean,
it's,
I'm happy for you because I think you'll be happier in this position, and I think that's one, you're going to be doing something you enjoy more, but two, you'll feel more secure in the position.
Yeah.
And
the
I
big
think
one for me
that's-
is the job security. Is that this will be.
Yeah, I think that will make a difference.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. But it will be nice. It will be more teaching and interacting in the community. They were really funny. They're like, "How do you do in front of crowds?" And I just had to chuckle. I was like, "Oh, antisocial." Actually, I didn't actually say that.
It's kind of funny. Every time we start getting a little bit more busy, then we take on something else and something else and something else, and we get more and more busy. So you're taking this on after you just accepted teaching for like helping.
Yeah, with religious ed and
Yeah.
exchange students, and
Yeah.
luckily I'm not doing coaching anymore. So
Yeah. So I think that's gonna be a little bit of a juggle.
mm-hmm.
I mean, fortunately, you're not the lead teacher, so if you miss 1 week or something, it's
Well,
not
and it's
fair.
after biz. It's not like I gotta take my lunch early or something, or take my lunch later. It's after business hours. So
Yeah. So, but I think it'll definitely be a learning. I think there's going to be a learning curve for all of us.
yeah.
So.
Well, like we explained to the kids, for the next month at least, the kids have a bad habit of, well, I can go upstairs and ask mom, but dad's in his office down here. Can you turn on my computer? Can you?
But
make
you
my-"
have to equally stop coming out of your office for your breaks and talking to the kids, because you do that and then they think it's okay
Not
to
disagreeing.
come to your office. So you can't be coming out of your office and like.
Can I start packing a little lunch for me? Take my little mini fridge. And...
No, because you can take lunch, but maybe take a water bottle in there and stay in there, and you don't get a bathroom break every hour. I don't know.
Wow. Aren't you the little slave driver, little
Well,
union buster over here?
That is part of the problem, because I was talking to the kids. I'm like, you guys have to stop going in. But Dad came out. We didn't go in and get Dad. He came out. He was
They're full
talking
of
to
shit
us on the
because they-
computer. He was doing
I
this.
was
I'm
not
like,
talking
no.
to them on the
You-
computer.
And or like they'll be upstairs studying. They're like, well, Dad came up. I thought it was fine. Like, I'm like, fine.
Well, the difference
like-
is if I made to press upon them. If I come out of my office, fine, but they all knock on my door.
But they
Can
see you come out of your office, so they think that then you're like done for a while. I don't know. but I get where they're coming from because, like, and it is because, you know, when you go away to your job, you might walk around your building, go for a walk, you might use the bathroom, you might wander around for that 5 minutes or a 10-minute break or whatever, but they don't see you do that. So now that they see you do that, it's confusing. Like,
That is one thing I do need to start doing, though. I'm going to make that my commitment. I need to get moving more because I used to. When I worked in the office, I'd walk around and take
well,
laps.
I am all
and-
about, you guys can go take 15-minute walks outside. All of you all need that. I am totally cool with napping while you guys are outside. But I do think that is part of their confusion, though. When they see
Could be.
you, like, because, I mean, you can't sit in your chair or stay in your office all day without coming out. But I think when they see you come out, then they're like, oh, kind of in their brain, they're like, okay, Dad's done. And so they're less inclined. I think we do need to get you a sign on your door. And, you know, a sign on your door that has something to the effect of not open or.
Right.
I
No
mean,
vacancies?
I'd like to think of something cutesy for your office, but
No vacancies.
like something that you can flip when it's, you know, okay, you can come and talk to Dad for a second when you're on your breaks or something.
Well, I mean, it just should be don't knock on Dad's door.
Yeah.
You need me, call me. Call me on my phone. If it's that important, would you call? Because that worked for the two oldest, Vashman and
Swedish company.
Swedish Compass. That worked for those two. And I was like, would you call Dad and ask him this question? Would you ask him if you can go outside and play? Well,
See,
no.
but that is a horrible question, or a horrible thing, because 10 years ago, 15 years ago, like, cell phones were so different that there's a lot of things that 15 years ago I would not have bothered you about. Even me, like, I would not have texted you or done anything because, one, we had those stupid flip phones that were a pain to
Yes.
text. So, like, would you call or text you about this? Well, I mean, now texting is so simple and so quick and so easy and convenient. It's convenient to receive a text when you're busy, and it's convenient to send one. But 15 years
That's
ago,
why I
it
said
was a little
call,
different.
not text. Would you call Dad about this?
Well, there's that.
Like, our kids are finally getting into texting. Which, again, them texting me, I wouldn't mind. It's just like the knocking on the door, like, can I do this? Well, I don't know. I'm not. Is your school done? Well, I don't want to ask Mom. Why not?
Yeah, I don't understand why they don't, unless they think that you're just going to give them more freedom or something. I don't know.
I'm sure that's definitely part of it. One is just laziness. Well, where's Mom? Well, she's upstairs. Okay.
Well, and
Well,
it
she's
was,
with JJ and Abby. I don't want to disturb her. Okay, but
It was getting to be a problem where they thought it was okay to interrupt JJ and Abigail's school 15 times in 20 minutes. Because I'd have one come up and ask a question and another one. And sometimes they were legitimate, like, okay, they need extra help with math or whatever. But, I mean, it's always been my like, process. Like, you can't interrupt somebody else's lesson because you don't want them to interrupt yours. So if I'm working with somebody else, you kind of have to just do something else. Like, do your other independent work and come back.
yeah.
So, but I do think that is maybe one of the reasons why they come after you.
I'm sure it is. I mean, it's
And
a
we
rock
haven't
and a
been
hard place
we haven't
for
been
them.
using our computer programs, so My Academy and My Prep. And I think if we got back to that, then like when I go upstairs, I just enter off 4 codes and then go, and that would resolve. Some of it is
Yeah.
just they want you to enter the code.
Yeah. Well, that's the big one. You can just code my computer.
Yeah. Which I hate having codes on the computers, but then
But
again,
Vash, man,
yeah, we don't.
was getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm just saying it's annoying.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we don't, that's just fact check true.
It's just tedious.
Yeah.
I mean, I would rather turn off the internet or do something equally
Restrictive.
like just because you could easily just unplug it at night and then plug it back in the morning.
But it's not, well, yeah.
because that's the problem. That's that But yeah. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so yes, that's definitely going to be an adjustment for the first month or so while you get
Acclimated to the.
acclimated. Yeah.
I do have a hunch I probably am going to end up in Lansing pretty expeditiously.
4 times a year really isn't that much to go downstate, and your mom would love it.
All right. There'd be some family members that would be quite appreciative.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, since you're down there, you don't really have an excuse.
Yeah, I do. I'm working. See, you have the same problem the kids do. Oh, my dad's working, quote unquote.
No, but you don't work not like 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. You work 9 to 5 probably.
8 to 5. I go in at 8. 8 to 5, and I get an hour-long lunch break.
So 8 to 5.
Mm-hmm. 8 to 5. Yeah, it should be fun. Should be exciting.
I'm curious to see what it's going to be like, but
You know, it's a pay raise, so that's nice.
yeah. Well, I feel like I don't have enough information. Like I don't know what to expect because I feel like I don't have any information on it. But
Mm-hmm. I think the travel in general, even if it is just like once a month, is going to be tough because we haven't really done that in 2 years, 3 years almost now.
well, if I hadn't been up for 3 days, I don't think your last bit of travel would have been so bad. So, because the kids did fine, it was just me not being able to sleep throughout 3 nights that
Yep.
made that awful.
True story.
So,
Good enough. I guess we can sign this one off unless there's anything else you want to talk about. We got the job covered, the end of the pandemic. We can finish off my pandemic cigars and sip a little more of the. I'm going to bottle this probably tomorrow.
I mean, I guess it's a little early to talk about the 2 months.
Yeah, it's too early for that.
So,
Too early.
I was looking at the date. I'm like, no, I think it's still like a week early
About a
or
week.
something. Week and a half.
Week away, and I'd rather have those be separate videos anyway.
That's
so.
fair.
Stay tuned for the next one, which will be the talking about the 2-month anniversary. Actually, that one will probably come out before this one.
Yeah, probably. But you.
So hopefully you
probably have
enjoyed
another one before.
enjoyed the 2-month. Well, I like making those ones special too, like because they are just so special.
Yeah, I gotta get on the ball with that stuff.
So anyway, folks, I think we're gonna sign off on this one. Hope everyone's doing well, staying safe out there, and yeah, we'll see what the future has to bring. Even this these cigar garage talks were born during the pandemic, so.
Oh, are they gonna end?
No, I think they're gonna keep going. I enjoy them.
Well, you said the pandemic's over.
The pandemic's over, but I'm still
I
smoking
mean, maybe
cigars.
you should
I'm
do
still
something
drinking.
else.
Maybe I should. I've talked about possibly doing that, branching out into other.
Well, you could still do a podcast. I was like, no cigar podcast.
Well, let's just not get over the.
Don't go too
ambitious
far.
here, yeah,
Don't get
let's-
crazy. You could do an applesauce podcast where you eat applesauce.
All right, folks. I hope everyone's having a good one out there. Stay safe, and yeah, there will be more. We'll see you on the next one.